Hey, I apologize for being a little bit late, but I had to change where I was located to make sure that I had a better spot. And I just want to say thank you for everybody that is here. One of my guests should be here shortly. Um, just want to change one little other thing. And maybe you might be hearing me. Are you hearing me okay? Are you hearing me okay? See, here's the thing. There was a gentleman, a young man who he was walking to the store. He had a mask on for this was prior to COVID. And mask on, and he was on the store and his hands on the store and looked like he was kind of dancing, according to a couple of people. But then somebody called the police, 911, and said, "He's a suspicious man in the neighborhood, and he's wearing a mask." And the police officer first questioned, and then the police officer went to continue to question him, and then grabbed him and actually started pushing him a certain way. And he said to them, "I didn't do anything wrong. I'm an introvert. Please don't grab me. Get off me. Why are you grabbing me?" And he continued to wrestle with that police officer till he found himself on the ground, similar to George Floyd. By the end of the night, he was dead. He was a young 17-year-old just going home from the store. Someone called and said he looked suspicious because he had a mask on. So, my question is, how suspicious did I just look with a mask? How suspicious is it when someone goes into a store, tries to buy something with a quote counterfeit $20 bill, and then we watch a gentleman or an animal, I'd say, not a gentleman, an animal, snuff his life out. Then we watch, or we, rewind the tape, and we go back to a young man who was possibly, allegedly breaking into a truck. Officers walked behind him in their car and walking for over 2 to 3 blocks. He came to a main street, and he had a butter knife, which they later discovered was a butter knife. He had this in his hand as he's skipping in the last few seconds of his life. He wasn't even running, he was skipping, and then he cut his hands and he turned one person. Actually, I don't think he turned one person, turning, and within seconds that cop came on the scene, while everybody else was already on the scene, and he unloads his gun, 16 shots. A young man from McDonald, dead in the street like a dog, an animal. And an animal shot him, killed him. And after the court verdict, which was actually guilty, including guilty for all 16 shots, the judge, 16 shots out, murder to second degree murder, and gave him 3 years, basically 6 years, with 3 years time served, and he gets his full pension. And then we see the last one that I share is We rewind the tape. 2015, August, when a young lady gets pulled over for a traffic stop because she didn't use her blinker. And by the end of this story, some history, they said she's dead. She committed suicide, they said. And they had a bag, plastic bag, tied to a knot. So, but there's tape missing. There's a log where someone logged in all these times that they went in to check on her, but then said no one checked on her. That yes, they may have made a mistake to go check on her, but they should have looked out there because they check. I was actually able to even show how they could have photoshopped the picture, showed that she was alive. She actually would have been dead, and maybe took the picture laying on the floor and into what. So we see in all these situations, there's just one or two major factors that I want to talk about tonight. And I invited a gentleman who, during the Freddie Gray incident, you guys know about Baltimore was lit up. People were shouting. They were excited. And there's a lot going on, right? And the streets was full of whatever. And I happened to be in my car and I heard this person doing an NPR interview stating that, oh, my block is terrible. I have to board up my windows. It's just so much mayhem in my city right now, and right here on the street, and my store. She talked about her store, and I was like, wow, I want to go right near there and see what's going on. So I got off the freeway, and I went to that area, and guess what? There was no boarded up windows. There were people walking their dogs. There were people jogging. There were people chilling. All of what she was describing was 10 miles away, where the CVS had burned the night before. And on that street, I ran into a gentleman that was filming, and he was talking to the people, getting the real voice of the street. So I started all this to say that there was one big thing that happened throughout all of those situations, from Laquan McDaniels, Sandra Bland, Mr. Floyd, this gentleman, Mr. Chavez, and that was racism. There was this disconnect from the people who are supposed to be protecting and serving us. And they came as animals instead of human beings. They instituted power with no passion for the people. And this idea that we could stand by and just watch, it's not something that I can do. And the idea that some people say happen to but on to Baltimore, I ran into a gentleman who he can't be here long. So I just asked him if he could step in because he actually had a situation with his own family. But he's actually leading the charge of something. I'm gonna let him explain it to you. But I'm gonna bring on my man right now that is gonna come in and he's gonna talk a little bit to you. My question you decided, I need to that I put something in that's going to make a difference. It's going to help. And so what I decided to do was to do this show. And in doing this show, it allowed me to, bring people in to talk about certain situations. And so, who will be taking that seat in front of you is a gentleman none other than Mr. Dex Elliott. Dex Elliott is a revolutionary. He is a man of his own words. He is a gentleman. He is a scholar of our backgrounds, but what he is an action person. He's a person who not only talks about what we need to do, but he actualizes it. And I don't know how much time we have together, but I have a few questions. I have a couple of things, and I reached out to him and about 5 other people, and they'll be coming and going. But he's the first one that I wanted to bring online here. And Mr. Deck, you know, you're muted right there. I'm gonna unmute you real quick.
Okay.
Should work.
Good?
You know,
You got
good over there in California. I'm here in Maryland, still as always. Now I'm in actually. I hear you.
Can you hear me? You froze up on. We're having some technical difficulties.
On that, I've not had that problem before, but check your. Yeah, now unmute again. Let me do this. Oh, okay. How about now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's go. All right, my man. So go ahead. Tell the people who you are, Dex, and what you stand for, because I was talking about the fact that we met during the Freddie Gray incident. As the people murdered him in front of us as well, and they all got acquitted. The mayor did what she said she was going to do, which was to put them through the trial. But at the end of the day, the good old boy network still worked in their favor. And of course, there were some black people involved. So they wanted to show that, hey, justice was served even because black people was involved. Yeah. But they all were acquitted, and no one was responsible for throwing the man in the back of a truck with his arms, legs, and everything compromised, not put in with any safety, and slammed around there like a piece of I would say a bag of potatoes. Yeah. Let's talk about it, man. Racism and its scar right now, and how you have decided to take some positive actions toward making a difference.
Yes, that's a loaded one. Yeah, just you said it in your introduction. Just taking action, like trying to change the things that that we don't like, we can't tolerate, and not sitting back and waiting for someone to be a savior. That's the problem, I think, with the black community as a whole. We it's as if we're sitting back waiting for someone to come in on a horse and save us. And the people that are going to save us are us. We're going to save ourselves by taking action. So our forefathers, all the people that came before us, they sacrificed their life to put us in this position. And I feel like us doing anything less is a crime. So I want to live up to the legacy. I want to live up to the standards that was set, the blueprint that was laid. So I feel like that's our responsibility as human beings, and definitely as people of African descent. Our ancestors are depending on us to pick up that baton and carry it and make a difference, and not expect anyone to do the work that we have to do for ourselves. So I just feel like, man, we're here for a reason. It's not just here to live, work, and die, or to enjoy and party, and people just live life not thinking about their purpose. We all have a purpose, a divine purpose, and I really feel like that's why I'm so passionate and so driven, because I know this time here on earth is not just to be wasted frivolously on watching sports and mindless conversations, and it's about something. What are we doing to change what we don't like? So
I love what you said, man. You said two things that I want to make sure people hear. See, when you're to sit back and wait for a savior to come save us
yeah,
is something that people have been doing for centuries.
yeah,
And this particular time in our history, we are our own savior. And as you said we have to do for ourselves what we've been waiting for others to do for us. We have to do for ourselves. And
not
so
just
there's
this
all
time,
kind of
in every time in history, but we're waking up and realizing that.
yeah. I mean, but here we are today, and people are still waiting for a savior. Because I've heard somebody say to me, "Well, Dwayne, you just got to pray about it."
Right.
And I was like, "I hear you, bro. You got to pray about it." He's like, "You got to love people." And I said, I get that too. I said, but when your enemy is killing you, when your enemy is murdering you, when the structure that he has supports continuous murders,
Right.
that idea of love and that idea of peaceful protest doesn't sit well.
Right.
Not just with us, but our next generations and the generations coming up right now.
Right.
I heard Joshua Friedman. He is the CEO and head of 6 Seconds, which is actually an organization that deals with emotional intelligence. And the conversation was around racism and emotional intelligence. And I was making a statement of how these individuals who are who are using their full force of power and brutality are not using emotional intelligence in any sensitive fashion. We can look at Mr. Brooks as a great example. Everybody watching just 10 minutes of that film would know that that man was drunk.
Absolutely.
He was lying to trying to catch himself, get himself out of trouble. And he was really basically acting like a little kid that got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Right.
And he had an opportunity when he even said to them himself, listen, my sister only lives down the street. I could leave the car right here.
Exactly.
And that was common sense and humanity.
Exactly.
But instead, they had to use brutal force,
Exercise their supremacy.
exercise, yeah. And the next thing we know,
Supremacy.
say it again.
Exercise their false supremacy. When
Right,
like you
the
said,
false.
what you and I would have done is say, "Yo, brother, you're clearly intoxicated. I'm going to take your keys. We're gonna make sure that we're gonna lock this car up. Maybe take the keys and have you walk home. We're gonna actually take you home yourselves. You're supposed to be bringing peace. You're a peacemaker. That's what police are supposed to do. We're servants of the peace. But yet, this man loses his life because he's drunk in his car, not even driving. Like you said, he's in his car, sleeping. And that's a death sentence for a man in America. When the clear solution was let this man just go home or take this man home. And that's what we're doing. And the fact that we have to debate about this issue that we own, which is unique only to us and sometimes to people that are Latino as well, but primarily us. The fact we have to still debate have these conversations is absolutely ludicrous. When we've seen it time and time again, no common sense. We die because of their lack of it.
Yeah,
sick.
And and we have a blueprint, right? We have getting cigarettes, we die. Turn signal, we die. Snatching cigarettes and running from the store, we die. Selling CDs in front of the store, we die. Selling individual cigarettes, we die. Come home after a party celebrating New Year's, we die. Like you said, it's ludicrous. And all of it is around this idea of racism and this false, like you said, this false idea of what they call white supremacy. I don't subscribe to even using the term because I'm not going to say that any particular person is supreme over me, but I understand how some people get caught in that ideal. So you've been involved in something personally. I don't know if you want to talk about it here, but I know that you have your own production company. Some people probably don't even know you're an activist. Can you talk about that here? Is that something that you would like to share more about, or
Whatever yeah.
what recently happened that just sparked you into action?
Recently, what recently happened?
Recently,
Recently.
I'm talking like really recently. I mean, I know you're in the street on a regular basis. I saw
Right,
you during
right,
the protests and this and that, but you had something personally
right.
that you just dealt with when you went to a
Okay.
particular gas station.
Right. Yeah. So I went to a gas station in the Valley area in Southern California, and I went in without my mask. I wasn't really. My mom is had a injury. She injured herself really bad recently. I'm taking care of her actually right now. And so your mind's all over the place. So I went to the gas station. I didn't think to put my mask on, and I didn't even know they were enforcing that rule at that particular place. Right. So I went in, put my money on the counter, and asked the gentleman to put it on number 6. And I was literally out the door, and he said, "You didn't have a mask on. I can't serve you." I said, "Man, I'm sorry, man." I said, I'm out the door, bro. Can you just put the gas on number 6? I mean, it won't happen next time, but I'm literally out the door. My money's on the counter." He said, "Come and get your money and go elsewhere." I'm like, "Wow, really, man? We're really going to do this right now?" And he was very insistent on enforcing that rule to me. And it felt personal. So, and in the time I really wasn't trying to deal with it. I was irritated, extremely irritated. So I went and got the money. And I said, "You know what, man? You're an asshole. You're a piece of shit." And his rebuttal to that was, "Yeah, and Black lives don't matter." Ha ha ha. So of course, that really, he really, touched the nerve, and I wanted to really react, but I decided to react in a way to really put him on the spot. I went out to my car, grabbed my camera, and I said, "Now, what'd you say again? Can you repeat that again for me?" And I put him on the spot with my camera. And of course, he gave me the song and dance and tried to, kind of like talk his way out of it and lie and say he didn't say it. And the customers start coming in one by one. And the beautiful thing about the entire story is the majority of the customers were Black that came in during this ordeal. And every single one of them that I gave the information to, I said, this man just said Black lives don't matter. He just said it blatantly out of his mouth. And the moment I told every Black person that, they all turned around on cue and left that store. So to me, that was a sign of we're at a place that we weren't at yesterday or last year. All of these incidents are bringing us to a place where we realize we have to be together. We have to stand with one another.
Unified, unity.
We have a lot of people that are not on code, but the reaction was perfect. It couldn't have been any better. And from there, I left the store, and I promised the guy that it's not going to end here. That you're gonna be held responsible for those words. So the next day, I called corporate, spoke with the head of marketing, explaining the ordeal that happened. It's an independently owned station. It's like McDonald's, so people buy into the company. So they have separate owners. So they told me that they're gonna, but at the same time, their brand and how their brand's represented, the people that are there, they take it very seriously, according to the gentleman I spoke with. So he assured me that he's going to follow up on it and really make sure that we would get this person removed. So that happened. I then went on and made some signs for my protest I'm going to be having tomorrow. And I went to the location, literally just to take actually a photo of the sign to promote the protest on social media. But I decided while I was there, I saw some like 6 brothers coming up, had a conversation with them, informed them what happened, and they got very intense about it. I said, matter of fact, my young brother, videotape me. I'm going to let the man. I'm going to confront him one more time and actually give him an opportunity to redeem himself. So, at the end of the day, I don't take any pleasure in seeing anyone lose. Take taking food off anyone's plate. This man has kids. I'm sure. I know for a fact I've done research on him. He has a family, so I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't care even if he said nigga 20 times. My goal is not to hurt. My goal is to bring people to a place of repentance, to realize that you're on the wrong path, you're on the wrong side of history, and we're here in the name of love, but we're bringing the sword. Although we're here in the name of love, we're here with the sword to let you know. So in that moment, I went back in the store with the poster. I confronted him. I let him know what it was, where we're going to go from here, what your options are, and he chose to stand on his lie. And in that moment, random customers came in, saw what was going on, and literally they start talking to him. Common sense. One of the girls said, "There's no way in the world somebody's going to be in here this upset and taking this stand just on a lie. You're lying, sir." And she went in on him, and everyone. Once again, black people start leaving the store, black and brown people start leaving the store one by one. So it was like God orchestrated another moment in this steps that I'm putting together to get this man removed from his position. So the third step will be tomorrow we'll be showing up at that location and we'll be protesting and demanding that he's removed from his position. Because my whole thing is zero tolerance, and even more so from a brown brother. You know, you should be, if anyone should understand, you should understand the struggle. You're the closest thing to this skin we walk in. So you should understand, especially with a president that truly dislikes you. So when that having an infraction from someone like that, it stings even that much more so. So, you know, like I said, we're going there in love, and we're going there just, you know, and the last thing I'll say about it, even though my desire at this point is to have him removed, if the man decided to give a public apology to the black community and to say that, look, I'm going to work on my racism, work on changing myself, I'm in a position, I'm in my state of mind, that would be acceptable for me. But at the same time, we'll make it known who he is, make it known his infraction, and he will be monitored. So, so my mind is not going for the juggler. I just want to go for the change. But if the change can't happen, off with your head, period.
You said not going for the juggler, you're just going for the change. And I love how you said that. That resonates with people. We got some people that are there. A lot of people saying hi, but if you have a comment that you want to support what Brother Dex is doing, Dex Elliott here, please put that in the comment section so I can share it. There's a couple of things there, and go ahead.
You know, a lot of people get us. They misunderstand what our passion as black men in our fight. You know, most of us, man, we're loving people, bro. We care. We have deep, deep feelings about a lot of things. We've had to experience pain that most people have never experienced. And I say black men in particular. I know our sisters have it hard. Nobody has it like black men. We're under the gun 24/7, period, point blank. And it's been that way since the beginning of time. So the fact that we are still here, we're still caring, still passionate, still sensitive, still driven. You know, those of us who are in that space, you know, we are unique individuals. We are born leaders. We are here to lead the masses of people. We lead people even in our worst condition. That's what God put us here on this planet for. The beginning was black, and in the end will be black. We will be the ones standing and leading the way. And these devils know it. They know their time is up. Their way of thinking is up. So, and all the people that they've indoctrinated with this so-called white supremacy ideology nonsense, that who want to be a part of that one step above black, who fall into that carrying out this type of ideology like this this Latino brother did. You know, at the end of the day, they're all going to bow down, and they feel their time is now. It's coming. It's very imminent. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, black men, you know, we are not out here hurt, harm. We are here for justice, equality, and like I said, like people say, the statement, "You're lucky. All we want is justice and not revenge." And that's what we're fighting for. Don't try. They try to demonize us. They try to demonize. They demonize the Black Panthers. They demonize Malcolm. They demonize Marcus. They demonize Nat Turner. They demonize Farrakhan. They demonize any black man that's passionate about his people. But at the end of the day, we never came with hate. We've always came trying to appeal to you, to make you see how off you are. How insensitive you are, how you are.
Insensitive, yeah.
Exactly. We're the ones that are the peacemakers. But at the same time, we know when it's time to bring the sword. Don't judge us for the sword when you ignore the peace. So
that's really kind of where we are in this conversation with our people right now too, because they're saying, you guys been trying to do this peaceful protest. You've been coming with, let us all come by, y'all come together, giving them an opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And as you said, it's time now that, hey, we're coming with peace, but we got the sword, and some people say, well, are you promoting, violence? And I said, why would I promote violence when violence has already come against me?
Exactly.
I've actually been the subject of the violence on the other end. Listen to the words that have been coming up, and there's these about 5 or 7 words I keep hearing on a regular basis. One of them is he was a subject. It's like, no, he was a human being, but because you have relegated him to this ideology of subject, it allows you to now treat him or her with this, approach. Racism defined as prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against a person or people. And that antagonism comes from all sides. And one of the things that you talk about is I really want people to reconcile themselves first before I have to reckon with them.
Right.
And this idea, tell us again, when is your protest? Well, or is it public, the time and everything, or is this one of those things where you guys are just going to show up at a particular time so that the people don't preempt what you're about to do?
Yeah, I'm not even worried. It's a demonstration, and it's happening tomorrow, Sunday. Tomorrow at that location. So whatever happens. If they
Okay,
try to,
demonstration
we're gonna
happens at
demonstrate.
that time.
Enough is enough. No tolerance. Yep.
Right. I love that you said zero tolerance. And somebody said that in the comment section that you're holding people accountable. I think it was Danae. Yes. Holding them accountable to their words. And in this case, you went to the gentleman, you asked him for accountability. He said, Sean, you said even tomorrow during the demonstration, if he was to come clean and actually say to the people, this is what my infraction was, you would actually say, okay, cool, that's good.
Absolutely.
All right. I have one more question for you because I know you have to go, and big peace and prayers to your mom. You call yourself a revolutionary. I love that title, but there's so many people who only, as you said, only see it in its demonization, because America has demonized standing up for your own rights. Even when you say to an officer, excuse me, why are you stopping me? And he says, do this. And you ask him why, and then you say no, that's disobeying a lawful order. And then the next word that you may hear is he's resisting arrest or she's resisting arrest. In this time of being revolutionary, we have to still watch ourselves for being the object of their aggression. How are you managing that? And talk about this idea of being a revolutionary.
I mean, the Black Panther Party, they would say, Fred Hampton would say, I am a revolutionary. I am a revolutionary. And to me, it's just, it's like what you said. We're fighting back. We're not sitting back and waiting for someone to fight for us. It's a call to action. And it's what we were born to be. And it's just taking ownership of who God made me and embracing it and living it to its fullest. A lot of these kids want to be gangbangers. They want to be, Crips and Bloods, not realizing that Crips and Bloods is a revolutionary organization from the foundation. The word Crips itself means community revolution in progress. So even that idea of what kids are attracted to, I believe with what I'm doing in time, you're going to see a lot of young kids gravitating to what our stand and realizing that this is cooler than genocide. This is cooler than walking around with my buttocks showing to the world and bringing that pride back, and realizing that, it's cool to be a thinker, a critical thinker. It's cool to be someone that cares about your community and cares about the women in your community, cares about being a role model, being an intelligent black man,
Right.
and carrying yourself in a way that demands respect, not just, I mean, literally demands it. And that's what we have to get back to. And that's what being a revolutionary is, you know, all of these things and more. And, you know, so that it's just time for us to take that stand and be these men that God called us to be, and not settle for anything less, and stop compromising and stop giving passes to the rappers, to the entertainers, and to everyone. I mean, I'm in the entertainment business, but I'm probably one of the strongest people against what I see in the entertainment business, because I've experienced it firsthand, the weakness, the compromising, the fakeness. You know, I literally have put my career in a really weird state because of my stance and the things I say and the position I take. You know, I can give a damn. I see a lot of actors now saying they can give a damn about how it affects their career. But it's convenient now to be bold. But I've been bold for several years. I was bold before it was popular.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying at the end of the day, you know, I heeded the call. And there's a lot that comes with heeding the call. A lot of rejection, a lot of being shunned and look at it over the top, extreme. Oh, that brother's doing too much. But now a lot of those same people that judge me are inboxing me, texting me, emailing me, and telling me how much they appreciate that I stood. They remember now that when no one was saying anything in our circles, that I was the one saying something. I was the one standing up. So, you know, so like I said, we also have to remember, let's remember those ones that weren't on this side of history prior to this time of acceptance to be a revolutionary or outspoken. Some people were on some other bullshit. Kanye West said slavery is a choice. I don't forget that. I don't want to see Kanye West in the front of some movement as a spokesperson. No, get your mind right. You can support it. You can be there, be a part. Let's embrace that. But you're not in a leadership position. And all this idea of who's leading it, we have all this mentality in the black community where everyone wants to be the chief. Well, being the chief is being a chief is being a servant. It's not being the one that's gloating all the attention. Are you willing to speak out when it's going to cost you everything? All of your friends, all the people that all of your some of your money, your opportunity. Are you willing? I can say that I am, because I've done it.
Yes.
I've done it for years. Because I know at the end of the day, I don't want to be that actor that was compromising. I wanted to be Malcolm X. I wanted to be Medgar Evers. I wanted to be Fred Hampton. I wanted to mimic those people. Yep. Let me say this. A lot of kids want to be great. Everyone wants to be famous and popular.
Right.
The most popular people on this planet were revolutionaries. Jesus Christ, if you believe in Jesus, he was a black man who was killed by the police for standing up. If you believe in Jesus, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali, the greatest people, the most popular people were revolutionaries. So why are you trying to be the next 50 Cent when you could be the next Malcolm X or the next Martin Luther King or the next Fred Hampton or the next Nat Turner? So these are the people that you should be managing, not these people that are what the standards of society says are the quote unquote popular people. Popular and integrity should go together. If those aren't together, they shouldn't even be mentioned in the same breath.
Well, see, here's the thing, because see, again, we've been given, hands-fed, spoon-fed who we're supposed to support, lift up, and celebrate. You know, I listened recently to a really, like the last two speeches of Mr. Hampton, and I thought, man, there's no way this guy was going to live, because he was so specific about how he wanted us to move forward, right? And he was calling out the people specifically. And, you know, that's one of the challenges, because we have the churches coming. They don't know how to get together and figure it out. They're not unified in their approach. And they're, you know, telling people that what they're doing is wrong and this and that. Then you have the education system. They don't know what to say. They're only giving us the heroes that, you know, they want us to have, as opposed to the ones we can read in real books and actually find that will give us the strength to move forward together. Again, you talk about unity, and one of the things that they perpetuate is the black community can never come together. They're always going to be at each other. Well, some of that is true in certain environments, but that's because that environment, the people that's in that environment, their mindset hasn't been shifted. You know, I heard something from Dr. Wilson. You know, Amos Wilson talks about this idea that when you perpetuate violence against black people, you know, because they always say to you, what about black on black crime? Well, they're not really realizing that what they're doing is perpetuating the oppressor's position on blackness. Right. They have become black people who are carrying out the white supremacist ideology. And they don't realize that. So, man, I know you got to go, man. This is only an hour show. I got to have you back specifically to talk about the results, to talk about you have a clothing line, you have a production studio, you help brothers get off the street and get jobs. There's so much more that you do that we didn't have any time to talk about today. But I definitely wanted people to hear your passion, because this is Passion of Prophets, right? And they say, well, what are you talking about? I said, well, this is a state of emergency right now. And we're not going to talk about just making money. We're going to talk about passion to change the lives of people in our community, coming up with real strategies that work. And, you know, getting people like you who you're willing to stop what you're doing to help a young man see himself. You're willing to walk in the streets amongst the people who are feeling the pain and hurting. I mean, that's how we met. You were there for Freddie Gray to help the community figure out, now what do we do, right? So a revolutionary, man. Jesus was definitely a revolutionary. And I actually was talking to a coworker and I said, Jesus was one of the most prolific lynchings in America. Yeah. And what's complicit about that is the state and the federal government supporting this ideology. Mm-hmm. And so, man, I want to say thank you, brother. You know, discrimination is all over the place, rampant. You know, they discriminate us for our hair. They discriminate us for our look. They discriminate us. But they're really, right now, they're still pulling all of our energy out. Okay, taking our music, taking our clothing, taking our pizzazz, right? But don't want us. Right. And that's psychotic. And now they're asking the question, what do you do with all these black people? Because we didn't need them anymore. You know, recently, do you know about the Devil's Punch Bowl in Mississippi?
I'm talking about it for
man.
Years. I'm talking about it for years.
Man, people don't talk about it.
So much history we don't talk about black.
Yeah, it's crazy that we don't talk about our history. And it's really, to my ideal, is I never heard of that, bruh.
I've been talking about it for years. When I learned about it about maybe 7 years ago. If you go back on my post, I was talking about it. But like you said, we don't know, you know, and we don't know. So therefore, and they don't know. White people are victims, right. White supremacist ideology as much as we are. They're different type of victims, but victims nevertheless, because they're taught that black people are civil rights and slavery, and therefore that's it. They have no, I don't have any compassion because they don't really know our story, you know. But, you know, and at the end of the day, I was gonna say this one last thing too. Just when people hear us talking about our enemy and what we're fighting against, and black people are very capable of being to multitask in our fight. You know, this whole thing on black crime. I talked about it in my little mini doc that I just put out. You know, white on white crime. 86% of white people are killed by white people. But why isn't white on white crime a thing? Because it's not a talk that puts them in an inferior position. Black on black crime is a way to keep us in an inferior position, showing us it's not intelligent. At the end of the day, yes, it's a serious issue that we're more outraged about than we ever get credit for being. And at the end of the day, we're going for the heads of all of you black people that refuse to change, that refuse to get your mind right. There's going to be a time where you have to reconcile who you are, or it's going to be off with your heads too. We're not
playing. Be removed.
Peaceful kumbaya. If you're killing black people, if you're killing black babies, if you're beating up black women, if you're doing anything that's counterproductive to black people, we're coming for your heads too. That's the movement I'm building. And we're not coming, we're trying to give you no hug. We're coming, yo, bro, you gonna change? No? Okay, off with your head. I mean, and people look at that, oh, that's extreme. Or that's, well, you know what? It's extreme when 60 people is killed in Chicago over the weekend. Whether it's propaganda or not, Black people, we're complicit in our demise. And we gotta stop it. We gotta stop the bullshit music, the rapping, talking about dehumanizing ourselves, the misogyny, all the bullshit. Stop supporting it. Stop supporting it. Stop making excuses for it. Enough is enough.
Right.
I've been putting out music, conscious music for years. I get 50 views, 100 views, and it ain't something that's whack either. It's just that it's not the dog food that you're used to. It's actually some minerals and vitamins and stuff that you don't want to take that you need. And it's many of us out there that are putting out information and putting the music that we need to hear, putting the entertainment that we need to support, but we're not doing it. We are complicit in our own demise, and we have to take responsibility, or these white people are going to continually have that over our head and to bring that up no matter how much we move forward. We have to change that. Let's stop. The moment we take that talking point away from them, it's over. Because they know we're truly unified.
Man, I couldn't have said it better, brother. And definitely don't want to add nothing to that. That's the word that you heard from Dex Elliott, you guys. As I said, I'm bringing the heat. I'm bringing the fire. I'm bringing people who are not talking about stuff, but they're doing things in their community. They're making a change. They're impacting it by putting it on the forefront, making a real effort to stop the madness and to get the change that we want to be. And as our beautiful friend, Mr. Gandhi said, Dr. Gandhi, or however you want to look at him, he said, you have to be the change that you want to see in this world. And Dr. King said it best. Either we're going to work together as brothers or we're going to perish together as fools. And so, hey, man, thank you so much. Appreciate you, bro. We're at the end of the time. I want to thank everybody for stepping in. Some of you guys, I know I didn't show all of your comments, but we'll be reposting this. And I want to say thank you, man. Much up to your moms, and you take care of yourself, brother.
Absolutely, man. Black
right.
power, y'all.
Black power.
Proud to be black. Proud to be
all
black.
Right. All right, y'all. That's all I got for you today. I got to go. I want to say take care of yourself. Listen to what he said. Go back, review it, check it out. But you guys take it easy. Be blessed.